All right, all right. Happy day. Good to see everybody. Today we have a topic that's going to follow you for a very long time. Now, the way this is worded, it's not exciting or anything like that. But if you get into the details of it, this topic is huge and amazing, fun. It really is if you get into this. And we're going to try to make it fun toward the end of this. So pay attention and let's see if we can learn something. All right. I would like to introduce you to two things in history that without them, we don't have history. We literally do not have the history that we use most of the time to understand our past. And we call these primary and secondary sources. All right. So, what you need to do today is try your best to understand the difference and understand their value for us understanding what happened to us before we were here. All right. Let's look at primary and secondary sources. All right. First, we'll start off like this: primary source. This is anything that is an original record from the past. Anything from the past that's an original. It actually came from an individual person that's actually a part of some event. All right. So maybe you were a witness. Maybe you saw, an accident out there on the street and you were in your car. You would be a primary source and the story you would tell. All right. Maybe it's actual people that were in the accident. Okay, maybe it could be someone that wrote something down about the end of the day. I know some people keep a diary, and let's say someone's kept a diary for the past 5 years, or all of their middle school years, or their high school years. Those would be primary sources of what actually happened. Okay, let's keep rolling. All right, they could also be like paintings or videos or artifacts that came from the past that have not been changed. If they're changed in any way, let's say a video, let's say someone's taken a video on a computer and then they went and they took some words out or they edited just a little bit, that's not a primary source. But if it's unedited, that is primary. All right. They give you an idea about what people, all right, at the time, at that moment, whenever it happened, it could have been 1,000 years ago, could have been yesterday, could be today, what they saw, what they were thinking, and what that event was probably more like. That's a primary source. All right. Now, here's some things. Look, keep this in mind. Just because it's a primary source, all right, doesn't mean that it's giving you exactly what happened. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm writing my diary about something, but I had a bad day, and I'm like, oh, I'm talking bad about somebody. Oh, that person did this, that person did bad. That's bad. I couldn't stand it. It was bad. So what I'm doing is I'm showing my bias in there. All right. So when you're looking at a primary source, you need to judge that source and be like, can I trust this person in this source, the author or the maker of this source, to be honest, or are they lying to me? Because there's a lot of people lying out there to try to make something look good, or make something look better than it is, or to make something look bad, or to make something look worse than it is. The best examples I could think of is politics. You think Joe Biden's going to try to make Donald Trump look good if Donald Trump does something good? No. Even if Donald Trump does something good, Joe Biden's going to make him try to make it look bad, and vice versa. Donald Trump's going to try to make Joe Biden look bad, even if Joe Biden does something good. So you got to think about the bias or the prejudice or the discrimination in there that may happen. All right. I call it POV. Okay. It's point of view, the point of view of this source. Anyways, let's keep rolling. All right. Let's give some examples here. Let's look at some. Check it out. All right. These magazines you see right here, they have actual photographs, they have actual quotes in them. Now, when you're looking at, let's look at this one right here, National Geographic. Is it a primary source in itself? No, what might be in there is. Now, if there's someone that's writing an article about it and they throw their opinion in it, all right, that's not going to be a primary source. All right, they say, oh, look, somebody took a picture. Oh, there's a whole bunch of pictures of this certain place over there in South America. Oh, it's beautiful. And now they're writing their opinion about what they see in the pictures. That becomes a different kind of source. We'll talk about it in a second. But the pictures themselves, they are primary source. All right, newspaper articles. Let's say that they're just quoting people in the newspaper. That's a primary source, and so on. All right. Other examples here. Okay. Someone made this. All right. Girl power flowers. That's a primary source. Somebody made this. It's a primary source. Here's a diary article down here, or some type of journal. Someone writing about their day. What you will do at the end of this day, the weekly wrap up, what you did for the day. That's a primary source. That's right. All right. Look at this. The statue. That's a primary source, an artifact of the past, of something that actually was made, and we can see what the people did when they did it. A drawing, a kindergarten. Yeah. You can think of the primary sources you've created in your life. I know some of your parents may have some of this stuff. We keep some of that stuff of our son. A painting here. Check out her outfit. Man. Ladies, y'all want to dress like that again? Yeah, that is comfortable. Yes, it is. Woo. All right, here we go. Other examples, photographs, all right, of a wedding. Now, can you trust the author on this? Who would be the author in a picture, like a photograph? The person behind the camera. So the person behind the camera that took these, what's he trying to do for that wedding? Make them look beautiful and handsome and in love. But guess what? They may not be in as love as it looks. So can you trust the author? Not always. Okay. You always can't. All right. Same thing. Pictures there. Maps, especially older maps. All right, are good primary sources of what things were like. Okay. I'm going to keep moving. All right. Oh well, no, this is a good one. I gotta listen to this. All right. When people tell stories, all right, oral stories, like, hey, I'm going to tell a story about what's happening. You are listening to a primary source that is definitely biased because they're trying to entertain you. Check it out.
I was born a long time ago, I guess almost 90 some years ago, in a little town in northern Minnesota. I used to do a lot of things when I was a little girl, but my favorite was picking blueberries in the woods near our house.
Oh, all right, y'all hear that? She's telling about a story about these people that they were buried in the woods behind her house. Oh, scary story. Now, is there bias in there? Yeah, they're not. She's not just telling you facts. She might be telling you facts, but she's trying to entertain you at the same time. So, can you totally trust? Excuse me, a primary source? Maybe. So you always need to keep that in mind. It's a maybe. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. You got to judge it yourself. Okay. And you see other things here: music, poems that were written by people, and so on and so forth. Pottery, all these different things that were made by people. Yeah, we can use these. These are trustworthy. What were people like in the past? All right, second one, a secondary source. These are also used to create history. Now, let's keep it real simple here. It's secondary. It wasn't first, okay? They're made later. They're not made at the moment that that thing happened or that event took place. They are made after the event has taken place, okay? Historians will use this, all right? They're okay. They're okay to use. Check it out. All right. They can be useful and they can be reliable, all right. They cannot reflect what people who lived at the time thought or felt, though. Okay. So it's all right. So let's say I went and found a whole bunch of stuff out in the woods. They're all, I found some pots and some coins. Oh, I found this book. Oh, man, this is cool. And I dig it up and I bring it in and I'm like, oh, I'm going to write about this and I'm going to put it in the Decatur Daily. Oh, I'm going to make a Decatur Daily article about what I found out in the woods behind Athens Middle School. And I'm writing about it, my opinion about what I found. Is this a primary source? No, it's a secondary source. The articles that I'm using to write about are the things I'm using. Those are your primary sources. Okay. Um, Sometimes you can get this though. This is kind of neat, especially if it's news. Sometimes, if it's real news, if it's not opinion news, you can get a more fair account of an event. So let's say this. Let's say you are in a wreck with somebody, and here comes the police. And he's like, all right, tell me what happened, hun. You're in the car. What happened? And you tell your account. That's a primary source. All right. If you were the driver of that car, you might try to make who look bad? The other person. the other person in their car, right? All right, so can we trust you? I don't. Let's see. All right, now there was a car that was behind you that saw everything. They don't know you. They don't know the people in the other car. The cop talks to them. Hey, what happened? You saw everything. Would that be a primary source? Yes, it would. Okay, that would be a little more trustworthy because they are not actually in it. All right, their point of view is different. Okay, let's keep rolling here. All right, here's some examples. All right, again, magazines, anything that's secondary source. Look, a textbook in itself is a secondary source. But in textbooks, you'll see primary sources, photographs, pictures of stuff, quotes are a big thing. All right, here we go. Examples of, all right, look, check it out. Taking information and putting them in graphs, secondary sources. This is a painting. This actually could be a primary source that was created by an individual, but it'd be a secondary source because it wasn't made at the time of the event. All right, let's keep going. All right, and you see other things here. All right, that could be primary or secondary sources. Now, I'm not going to go over all these. I'm going to end it right here, and we're going to get into another activity. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.